Why your plumber's most important tool isn't what you think. All right, let's talk about the moment of truth on any job site, the connection. The single point where a system either holds for decades or it fails catastrophically. For generations, the answer was fire and skill, but now there's a new contender in the ring. Today, we're setting the score. The time-honored Braze Joint versus the revolutionary ACR press fitting. If you're a plumber, you're on the clock. You have 20 more joints to make. Do you grab your torch, the one you've used for years, or the $5,000 press tool that promises to get you to the next job in half of the time? Which one makes you more money? If you're the serious DIYer, tackling that multi-split install, you know a simple propane torch won't cut it for high-pressure refrigerant lines that you have to braze. Is there a way to get a professional leak-free seal without the fire hazard and the intimidating torch, gear, and everything else you need? And if you're a homeowner, your air conditioning tech shows up, but instead of a torch, he pulls out this giant clamp. Is this new tech as reliable as the old way? Is the integrity of your system on the line? Okay, first, let's talk about the undisputed champion. For nearly a century, the Braze Joint. This isn't just a connection. It's a metallurgical bond. It's craftsmanship. Now, preparation is king. You start with a perfectly squared cut, then you deburr the inside and outside. If you leave a burr, you can restrict flow or prevent the fitting from seating. Then, you clean it with an abrasive pad until it's bright and shiny. You get this wrong, and the entire joint can be compromised. Now, for med gas, for anything like that, you do a nitrogen purge. Now, this is the step that separates the pros from the amateurs. While you heat the pipe, oxygen inside reacts with the hot copper and creates this nearly black scale called cupric oxide. The stuff breaks off and destroys compressors and expansion valves all the time. It's a silent system killer. To stop it, we purge the lines with a slow, steady flow of nitrogen to push all the oxygen out. If your tech is not running nitrogen, they're not a professional. Hate to tell you, but guys, that is true. Now, number three, the dance of the flame. We use an oxygen acetylene rig or sometimes just a B tank. We do this to get the joint up to temperature, over 1100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, the key is to heat the fitting, not just a pipe, and let the metal melt the filler rod, not the flame. Now, when you do it right, you get capillary action. That's what pulls the molten silver into the gap, creating a bond that's often stronger than the copper itself. The initial tool investment is relatively low. A good torch kit, tank, everything you need might run you $400 to $1,200. And the fittings themselves are cheap. So the verdict on brazing is incredibly strong, has a proven track record of lasting over 50 years, and the cost per joint is low. But it's slow. It's entirely dependent on the skill of the technician, and it's a massive fire hazard. You often need hot work permits and a fire watch depending on your job, which adds time and money to the project. So brazing is strong and proven, but it's also slow and dangerous. What if you could make 5 joints in the time it takes you to braze 1 and completely eliminate the risk of fire? That brings us to the challenger. Now, this is the ACR press system. It's a flame-free, engineered mechanical joint, and it's changing the game. But let me be clear, this is not your plumbing shark bite. This is a purpose-built system for high-pressure refrigeration rated for up to 700 PSI. Now, this process looks simple, but don't be fooled. The discipline is in the prep. Preparation, just like most jobs, is everything. Just like brazing, you cut, deburr, and clean. But here, it's even more critical. This fitting has 2 HNBR O-rings inside. Now, that's a hydrogenated nitrile O-rings, okay? If you have one tiny microscopic burr on the edge of that pipe, it can slice this O-ring. It can slice it on the way in. You won't even see it. It might even pass a pressure test for a while. But a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, you've got a leak. So what you want to do, you want to mark the depth. You want to use a gauge to mark the exact insertion depth, and this is non-negotiable. You want to make sure that they go in deep enough each and every time. It ensures the pipe is perfectly seated over both O-rings for a secure seal. And then inspect it and press it. You give the fitting a final check for debris, slide it on all the way up to your mark, and then the tool does the rest. This tool applies over 7,000 pounds of force, creating a perfect, repeatable crimp in about 5 seconds. Now for the catch, the cost. A professional press tool and a set of ACR jaws will set you back somewhere between $4,500 to $6,000. And the fittings themselves can be 10 to 20 times more expensive than a standard copper fitting. The verdict on pressing, it's unbelievably fast, up to 60% faster than brazing. It's incredibly safe with zero open flame. And the tool provides a consistent joint every time. But the upfront investment, it's expensive. The fittings are expensive. And it's absolutely unforgiving of bad prep work. The biggest debate is long-term reliability. Can that O-ring really last as long as a solid metal joint? So we have the art of brazing versus the science of pressing. Which one is better? Well, that's the wrong question. The real question lies in the person holding the tool. The amateur argues about which tool is the best. A professional knows the real answer is having both tools in the truck. This skill isn't just mastering one method. It's developing the wisdom to know which tool is right for the job. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to put them to a pressure test because we want to see, truthfully, which one holds more pressure, or maybe which one just blows apart. So anyway, let's play with it and see what we can get to happen here. Let me get my pipe ready and we'll get going. Okay, so right now we're at 0 PSI. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the water, and that takes us up to about 81, 82 PSI. I'm gonna go ahead and bleed the air off. All right, so we should have no air in here now. And looking inside, all the braze joints are holding, everything looks good. Now this is the braze test. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what this gets up to. So I'm trying to turn it on slow here. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the water pressure on. Water pressure up to 86 PSI this time, 83, balancing out. We're looking good there. Gonna go ahead and ease the air out. And let's slowly start adding some pressure. Plug it there a little bit. Now they both blew out in the exact same spot. Except that what that makes you think is that the braze softens the copper. So as you can see from the test, well, the crimp and the braze both did well. They both did really well. 3,500 PSI, 8 PSI higher than the press. Guys, and if you're a homeowner, if you're a DIYer, I think you see either way is great. But if you're a technician, if you're that licensed person out in the field, are you all about the upfront investment saying, look, this is going to save me time and money on every single job I do this on from now on? Or is it, hey, look, I got a torch, I don't need all that. Me, I'm in it for the long haul. So I truthfully think going to a press fitting that works as well as this does, it just held 3,500 PSI on a system designed for about 700 PSI max. Let me tell you, either way you go, you're doing good. Which one's the best for you? Do me a favor and leave me a comment down below. If you're a plumber, if you're an HVAC tech, which one of these do you use? If you're a DIYer, are you doing anything like this? And if it requires a license where you're at, I hope you have that. If you're a homeowner, seeing what you saw today, do you really care which way they go? I think I just showed you this works.